Hi, welcome to Wednesday. This is interesting. Nobody has ever asked me this question that I can remember. So I'm going to start out with this. This is from a gal that writes me periodically with a bunch of questions. So out of 5 or 6 that she sent, this is the one we're going to answer this week. She wrote, this is Linda from Philadelphia. When you go to get your eyes and hearing checked, what do you say when the doctor or tech asks if you are seeing, hearing anything unusual? I mean, you seriously do this for a living. Do your doctors or techs already know this in advance? Suppose I had to go to a specialist for a problem in one of these senses. Do you tell the new doctor who you are and what you do? Do they understand or do they laugh at you? I'm curious as how people with gifts handle this issue. You know, I've never had that problem. I do go to doctors. I mean, I'll get a little crack like I just had cataract surgery not that long ago. And I remember the tech saying, well, now maybe we'll see why you can see what you see. The interesting thing is this. Most of the doctors that I go to, which is a slew, if they don't know what I do, somebody or help or a nurse in the office does. And they usually give it away. They'll tell the doctor. Doctors are professional. Not too many people are going to tell me I'm crazy. It's more normal people to tell me I'm crazy. So I'm okay with doctors. As a matter of fact, it's a little funny because I just had to have a couple head scans. And that particular doctor said to me, gee, maybe we'll figure out what your brain is like and if that's why you can do what you do. Yeah, test results came back. My brain's as normal as everybody else's looking at it. So thanks for the question, Linda. And like I said, nobody's ever asked me that before. This one is from a Bob and Debbie. And we border a state park, 20,000 acres of relocated homesteads and cemeteries. We also love antique shopping. After reading your book, my book, When Ghosts Speak, she decided that too much stuff was happening in the house, and so they actually had a priest come out, bless their house with holy water and sea salt used in exorcisms, and I'm impressed with that. And they also anointed her husband. Both hear something fall, house bangs, tap on beds, metal footboard, creaking, odd behavior from the grandchildren when they visit. Husband saw a full-body ghost at the end of the driveway, shadows in human forms, bad insomnia, gets woken up from shoulders, shoves, ankles grabbed, covers pulled or patted down. Dreamt he was rising off the bed, then startled awake. She goes from a sound asleep to full alert. Something feels like there's a presence. Always feels weird. Okay, you've got a bunch of stuff going on here. And I see what you want to do is try to see if it's because of where you live or the ground. Don't think so. I mean, properties can have negative energy on them. Actually, the next letter will definitely explain that one. But it has nothing to do with the cemeteries that are adjacent to your property, homesteads. That doesn't mean that somebody lived in one of those houses a long, long time ago and died and never crossed over. And standing out in the middle of a field, they're not going to get energy, so of course they're going to come into a house. I can't tell from a letter if it's somebody that's there all the time, somebody that's in and out. I don't know if you're in a development, if there's a lot of houses on the street, are you an only house on the street? That would all be taken into consideration. Everything that you are telling me or writing to me about actually can happen. So I think the best thing, you did the one thing already, having the priest come in and bless the house. That was good. You didn't say, but I bet it was pretty quiet for about 2.5, 3 weeks after that. You need to smudge on a really regular basis, and seriously call and leave a message. That way I would be able to tell for sure if somebody's there 24/7 or just in and out. But you really should do something with all this activity. This one is from Kim, and this one is a little bit harder to fathom than the first one I just read. The question is it possible a property has an ability to destroy people's lives? My brother and I inherited this farm from our parents, and everybody that lives on this property is addicted to drugs or alcohol. My twin sons both died on this property because of those addictions. My brother who lives here is also an addict, and the twins and my brother never ever wanted to get off this property. They always wanted to stay here. Can this be from a curse? She also adds that it was a farm where a lot of animal slaughterings were done. You know, older houses, old farms, that was a way of life. They slaughtered their animals to survive, to eat. So I don't think that's an issue. Now, it would be an issue if the animals were used in some kind of a ritual, if it had something to do with, you know, them doing bad things or trying to do spells or curses or that kind of thing. Some of that negative energy could be on the land. There is, and I've cleared property that does have negative energy on it, i.e. a curse. So yeah, this could be one of the reasons, and until that is actually cleared, you're going to have a problem there. It really needs to be cleared. If you get, when Go Speak, and look at the last chapter in that book, do the little ceremony on your property. I think you may absolutely be 100% surprised how much or what that can do for you. Definitely try to call and let me see if I can't pick up something more than just the negative energy on the property. For sure, that's a possibility. I asked for people to write in for next week about religious questions, pictures, anything like that. Ghosts or earthbound spirits don't avoid any place that's holy or religious. They can go anywhere they want. Who's going to tell them they can't? But I got a letter, and a very nice letter from this gal, Gail, from New Jersey. She said, you asked for interesting photos from churches and religious places. This past August, my cousin and I visited the island of Capri in Italy and stopped at a beautiful old house called the Villa San Michele. I bought that Villa St. Michael. The day before, my cousin had stopped to admire the statue of the Archangel Michael in a town because she said out loud in front of the statue that Michael was her favorite angel. And so when we went to see this little church, that's why she snapped a photo of the entrance of this little church. And she wonders if this is why this appeared on the camera. Now, this is really cool. This is not exactly what I was asking for, but I think you can see what I'm going to show you here. There's a beautiful rainbow over the top of the door. And if you look, whoa, here we go. There's actually a cross on the door, which I think is pretty cool. And again, rainbows weren't exactly what I was looking for. This is more what I'm looking for. And next week I've got some pictures with actual humans in, with dead humans in. So it's both. This gal that sent these pictures has a great hobby of going, any place she ever visits, she goes into churches. She just loves the statues and everything that's combined with any kind of church, any sect, whatever. And she's a good photographer, and so she happened to be walking along with the monk that was in this particular chapel, and so she was taking pictures of the Stations of the Cross, which I think is interesting now that saying we're in Lent. And it was just the two of them. Nothing was out of the ordinary. But when she had these pictures developed, you can see in this one, look at the blood stain right here. Big drip right there, which was not there when they were standing there, but it did show up in the picture. Here's another one, not as pronounced, but it is right here. Just more of a little dot, but it is definitely bright red when you see the picture. So I think it's interesting that it's blood with the Stations of the Cross. And I don't know what exactly it is, but again, this is the type of thing that I would like to see if anybody else has caught in pictures. We are still in the Mercury retrograde. I'll be so glad when it's over. I've got another repairman coming tomorrow to fix my washer, my new washer. This is the stuff that goes bad during a Mercury retrograde. You can still get more information on that from YouTube 6 and 20, or you can go to my website. Again, some of the religious questions are coming in. They're really good questions. And so definitely that's what we'll be doing next week. And send in your questions. I mean, I'm sure that there's sometimes you're going to any place that feels creepy or you don't feel comfortable in. And unfortunately, that can also occur in church. Okie doke, and then the last thing I want to bring up is the Merry-Go-Round Museum in Sandusky on April 25th. Be there from noon to 3. It's not that far from Cleveland. It should be interesting. We're going to have access to the whole place where people aren't allowed to go, so we're going to go on a ghost walk also. I'd be really curious to see what kind of people are in there. Thanks so much, and we'll see you next week.